I love to make things. I love to design things. I lose track of time when I make things. It's exciting, it's fun. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. I make things. That's who I am. I'm a maker. I always have been.
Since 1971, ceramic artisan Dan Weaver has devoted his life to a passion for creativity and self-sufficiency by creating a multidisciplinary workshop in Downeast, Maine. Now, almost 50 years later, he is looking for a way to help share this resource with the next generation of those interested in learning traditional crafts.
I think it's really important to philosophically think about the importance of making things. I think we can lose touch of where our objects come from. We should know we can make them. People do not think in terms of building what they use. They think, oh, I want to be a potter, I'll buy a potter's wheel. I want to be a potter, I will buy a kiln. Well, I build kilns. I build equipment. To me, building the equipment is as much fun as making things out of clay.
From a very early age, Dan was always making things. As a boy growing up in a small town in Texas, he was always getting into trouble for borrowing household objects to use in his craft projects.
I guess you could say I stole my mother's old vacuum cleaner, and I took the blower out of her vacuum cleaner without her knowing it, and I built a burner for my first kiln, and then I fired one pot. And I was amazed, it worked. She got a little upset because I stole her vacuum cleaner, but later it was either she or my father selected that particular pot to hold their cremated remains.
While he was an undergraduate at the University of Dallas, Dan's interest in claywork grew stronger. And by the time he was in the MFA ceramics program at Alfred University, he was building kilns for the school. When he was offered a teaching position at Southern Methodist University, Dan was grateful for the offer, but could not bring himself to do anything with his life other than continue to make things. So, never one to be overly cautious, he and his wife moved to Maine and set up a pottery studio.
I have always been compelled to work for myself because I want to choose what I do with my life. I have not made very much money in the common sense, but that's never been my goal. My goal is to have what I have now. So I'm frankly overjoyed that that has worked.
Here, at his workshop in Maine, Dan has developed tremendous capacity for designing and creating not only pottery, but also works in a variety of mediums, from wood, metal, plaster, and CNC to digital media.
I'm somebody that's interested in intertwining what is new and digital and computer-driven with what is traditional.
Dan's most unique combination of modern technology with traditional claywork is his crystalline glaze photography.
We're talking at temperatures about the maximum temperature for this kind of photography is 1180 degrees centigrade, but it's bright enough it will burn a hole in your retina if you look at it without fire protection.
In consultation with astrophysicist Bob Taylor, potter Christine Taylor, and National Geographic photographer Bruce Dale, Dan has devised a unique process to photograph crystalline glazes while they are firing inside the kiln.
I'll take a picture every hour or every half hour, and I'll watch the crystals get bigger and grow. And when I get them the size and the scale that I want, I turn the kiln off. To me, this is invaluable because otherwise I would have to spend years and years and years firing and not knowing until I unload it what I've got.
While he loves the creative side of claywork, efficiency is also very important to Dan. To this end, his pottery studio is packed full of equipment, A hydraulic ram press, mold shop, pug mills, glaze spraying booth, and an array of gas and electric kilns all help him keep up with customers' orders.
We have a self-feeding pug mill. Well, this pug mill did not come from a factory. I built it. I actually cut out the parts for two, thinking I would build two. So now I have all the parts for a second one, which I haven't had time to put together. One thing I would love to do is to bring a group of students in and we would build the second pug mill. I would love to basically give someone else, either someone who would come in here and take over what I'm doing or someone who would share this with students. I would like to give them a leg up so they could start at a level that I was not able to. I started with virtually nothing. I had to literally borrow the money to buy bricks to build my first kiln. Since the early 70s, I've worked very, very hard, put in very long hours. The whole concept of a weekend never really made any sense to me because I work all the time. The distinction between me and most people is that I don't consider work work. I am doing quite literally what I want to do. So I feel very fortunate at this point to have invested all of this time and energy and be where I am now. What I have here now is tremendous potential for artisan craft. I think there are other people out there who would be enthusiastic about doing the same thing if they knew that it was possible or if they could be encouraged. I want to encourage them.
Today, Dan is searching for ways to pass on his skills and workshop to a new generation of people passionate about making.
What I'm interested in is giving people access to doing abstract design, but then being able to walk into the next room and take that abstraction and make it real, to build it. Okay, that's it.